Hello and welcome to Gladys Cake Kitchen. In this video, I will be showing you how to make this simple white chocolate ganache to cover this beautiful ganache stencil cake with. A quick reminder that this episode is part 3 of a 4-part tutorial teaching you how to make a ganache stencil cake complete with floral decoration. In part 1, I showed you how to make a simple red velvet cake and handed you a tested recipe which you can find in the description bar below. In part 2, I showed you how to make a simple French buttercream to fill this cake with. Today, in this episode part 3, I'll be showing you how to make a simple white chocolate ganache my way to cover this cake with. And finally, in part 4, I will hand you a step-by-step guide on how to fill, level, layer and complete this cake. Links to all the previous episodes is found in the description bar below. So without having to waste your time, let's make some ganache. A few things to note before I begin. It's important to know there is no one single recipe for ganache, and that depending on the kind of chocolate used and intended purpose of the ganache, the ratio of chocolate to cream may vary to obtain the desired consistency. However, there is a standardized recommended ratio for dark, white and milk chocolate ganache that is widely used, which I will leave notes on in the description bar below. The desired ratio of white chocolate to cream used here in this particular recipe is 1300 grams or 1.3 kilograms of white chocolate to 600 mils of cream. With the cream and chocolate set aside, pour the cream over the white chocolate pieces and set in the microwave to heat up for 4 minutes at 2 minutes intervals. The chocolate used here is the Finca brand and the cream is Elmley cream. It is also important to note that Elmley, despite being marketed as cream, is made from buttermilk and vegetable fat, allowing the ganache to be microwaved at high heat and stabilizes very well. After heating, bring the chocolate and cream mixture out after the first 4 minutes and shake to observe the chocolate is melting evenly. Set back in the microwave for another 4 minutes at 2-minute intervals and bring back to stirring. With a spatula, mix the ganache gently until combined, ensuring all lumps of chocolate are fully melted. There will be a detailed video in the future about ganache, the various types and purposes of use, and the right cream required. So please stay tuned for that. But in today's video, I am focusing on this simple white chocolate ganache. And if you haven't subscribed yet but have found some value in this video you're watching, please consider joining this community of simple and informative baking tutorials. It will be my absolute pleasure to have you. Whilst at it, click the notification bell to be notified of future videos, and please do like and share this video. When the ganache is melted with no lumps and is of a runny consistency, it is ready to be set aside at room temperature for 24 hours. I would normally make this a day before it is due for use. After 24 hours, the ganache is set and ready for use. Depending on the temperature of the day, this ganache can set solid and would have to be microwaved again. It can also be refrigerated for up to 8 hours before it is due for use. The total quantity of ganache made in this episode can cover 2 5-inch cakes measuring 9 inches tall with some small left over, or 2 6-inch cakes measuring 9 inches tall with none left at all. I have halved the ganache as I am covering a single 5-inch cake measuring 9 inches tall. Observe that after reheating the ganache, the consistency is a spreadable peanut butter consistency. Mix together evenly and set onto the mixer with a whisk attachment and whisk for 1.5 minutes at medium speed. Notice that as the ganache begins to whip up, it will appear light and fluffy and will increase slightly in volume. A good tip to note as part of the ganache making process is to whisk the ganache just before the cake is to be crumb coated. This stops the ganache from sitting out over time and setting hard again after it has been whisked. When the whisked ganache is done, it will assume the consistency of a thick whipped cream for filling cakes, except this will be slightly heavier. Fold in together gently with a spatula, scraping the bottom of the mixing bowl to ensure the ganache is thoroughly mixed together. Now set that aside or dish into another bowl ready for use or covering the cake with. In the next and final part of this series, I'll be using the ganache made here to cover the cake made in part 1 of this series. You'll get to see how I use this ganache and how easy it is to cover a cake with. Links for part 1 and part 2 of this series will be left in the description bar below, so do check that out. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did and learned something new, please consider subscribing and do leave a comment for suggestions of any future videos you would like to see. Like and share this video with someone who loves to bake. Again, Thank you, and I'll see you in my next video.